Breath of the Wild is getting a prequel. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity has been announced, and it's a new Zelda game coming out this year. But it probably isn't what everybody was expecting. On September 8th, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was announced, and it's a new story that's set 100 years in the past before all of the events in Breath of the Wild took place, which I take issue with the way that that's phrased. Because it's not really 100, it's 100 years before like what you play, but like they show these events quite often in
like little scenes,
yeah,
like little.
But I think they phrased it like before, like the 100 years before like the main events in Breath of the Wild.
So we're basically playing out those events in their entirety. Those events that happened 100 years before Link went into a coma, and like why he went into a coma, and we're meeting all of these characters for the first time. And it's a Warriors style game. So if you guys are unaware, there is already a Zelda Warriors game called Hyrule Warriors. It's one on Wii U, and then they made a definitive edition with all the DLC that's now on Switch. That I like
3DS.
a lot.
It's on the 3DS as well.
Oh, that's called something different though, isn't it? It's called Hyrule Legends.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah. So it was on the 3DS as well, and that one was, I think, online, actually.
Really?
Which is hilarious. Yeah, I think it was.
What do you do online? Do you like co-op?
You team up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Actually,
And Linkle was in the 3DS version and not in the Wii U version, and she was in the Switch version, which I thought was very interesting.
Actually, the details of Age of Calamity says up to 2 people, so I think we're getting co-op.
Are you sure?
It says it on the website.
Co-op?
I don't know if it's online.
I thought I saw on the website that it said
just up to 2 players.
Local. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I don't see anything about online, but go on.
Excuse me, guys.
Continue.
I'll try not to choke out. Okay, so there was like a rumor or something. Basically, there's a saying that's been going around that like there's gonna be there's gonna be a Zelda game every year, and so we actually before the podcast started taping it, we went back and we actually looked to see like is that a true thing or is that just something people say? So for the past 7 years, that was actually true. So I'll list it off real quick because I think it's super interesting. In 2019, we had Link's Awakening. Well, 2020, we'll have Age of Calamity. Then 2019 was Link's Awakening on the Switch. 2018 was Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition on the Switch. Then we had Breath of the Wild 2017 on Wii U and Switch. Then Twilight Princess HD in 2016. Triforce Heroes and Majora's Mask in 2015. Majora's Mask 3D, that is, on the 3DS. Hyrule Warriors, the original, came out in 2014. Link Between Worlds on the 3DS and Wind Waker HD on the Wii U came out in 2013. And the trend stops in 2012.
But I think
that's
2011 had Ocarina of Time 3D.
And Skyward Sword 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they just skipped 1 year. What are they doing?
Well, you had enough Zelda to get you through.
We kind of had Zelda in 2012 if you count the Nintendo Land game.
No.
Oh, that's true. When did this is probably doesn't count, but I was gonna say crossbow training.
That was on the Wii, so that was before the Wii U.
That was like 2008, I think.
I have that and the little stupid gun thing. I've never actually played it.
Because it came with the gun, right? It came with the zapper.
Yeah, I bought it second, like the aftermarket though, so I had to like piecemeal it all together.
There's a lot of Zelda games.
What was I gonna ask? What about Cadence of Hyrule? When did that come out?
Oh, that was last
year.
That was last year.
So we had 2 last year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into like the meat of Age of Calamity, and I wanted to know how you guys feel about the prequel to Breath of the Wild being a spin-off and not actually being a true Zelda game. Air quotes.
I mean, I kind of, I'm surprised that they didn't go more towards a traditional Zelda to show a prequel. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we already kind of know what happens. We know the main events that happen, so it's really playing through as the different champions And
Yeah.
the Hyrule Warriors
Which is
setup
dope.
allows you to play as many different characters as opposed to
Dude,
just playing as like
so many characters. The definitive edition has over 20.
yeah. But like, you know, a mainline Zelda game, you're typically playing as Link, and you don't really play as
Right.
any other character. So this is a good way to play as the champions,
true.
because I thought the champions were one of the coolest parts of Breath of the Wild. Like, they were just fun to see that there's other
They're
characters trying to save Hyrule.
And also the story that they tell is the most. Those are the emotional moments in Breath of the Wild. Is the stories of the like fallen legendary heroes, and like to be able to see all the buildup of that to like how they got to that status. Like maybe we see like maybe how like Mipha was selected to be a champion. Like maybe like how did that all come together? Like to see that story would be very cool, and I'm super excited.
It's interesting because they did the Champions Ballad DLC, which gave you a little bit more backstory in the champions.
Yeah.
But I guess this will show different, like, them actually fighting to save Hyrule.
Oh, that's true. Can you refresh my memory? I only beat Champions Ballad once.
Yeah.
What is like the main story in that?
I was
You
trying
were like
to...
going around, yeah, like you were going around Hyrule doing like the extra shrines, and then you
Uh-huh.
get like cutscenes of like Zelda
you're making
and
the
Link
song,
with like
right?
each of the champions.
Yeah, it was more like interactions between Zelda and Link and the champions. It didn't really... I don't think it really went into the champions' story. Like,
Okay.
it was more reminding Link on,
Yeah.
you know, how he and Mipha interacted and all the different interactions with them.
And how they were in love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
because
how
there was
it
that
was-
scene with like Mipha and like Sidon was like a little like baby.
Baby
Yeah,
Sidon?
Baby
Yeah.
Sidon.
Is Baby Sidon gonna be in this game?
Oh, he better be.
Oh, he thinks so, yeah.
He better be
I would
a
think so.
playable character. There's
That'd be
there's
so
young Impa, right? That's the... Is that-
yeah.
Should be. I mean, how young is she gonna be though? Because she's like real old.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if she's a Hylian, I don't really understand the age of Highlands. Like, how old can they be?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand
Yeah.
that. Because it's not Impa, is it? Or yeah, it is Impa in Skyward Sword. That's like a big reveal, right? Sorry, spoilers for a 10-year-old game.
I never played it, and when the remaster comes out, now I'm gonna be spoiled.
Yeah, you're spoiled.
No, I'm kidding.
Impa's in it, and she's 1,000 years old. Right?
Yeah, she's the old woman.
But that's interesting.
So I think it's an excellent way to tell the story, because like the setup for this tale that they're going to tell is so much different than what happens in like the base game. It's going to be focused on like the fighting of armies, and like that's Hyrule Warriors gameplay. So
That's true.
yeah, I think it's a perfect fit for it. And I'm not mad that it's not traditional, because I don't think it would make sense at all if they'd said, oh, we're making a traditional prequel when the sequel's in development. So I think this is a cool way for them to make a prequel to tide us over until
Right.
like the full-fledged sequel's out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't take anything away really from the main team.
Yeah.
Other than, what is it, Iwata? Is that the...
Aonuma.
Aonuma.
Iwata's guy passed
Yeah,
away.
Iwata
Sorry,
was
sorry.
Former president of Nintendo.
Yeah. R.I.P. Aonuma. Aonuma is like overseeing it and stuff.
Yeah, I
But
think
hopefully that's not...
they said that Koei Tecmo
They're
worked
working very closely with Koei Tecmo, yeah.
And it like it looks good. It looks like
Yeah,
it's in the
it's-
Breath
Do you
of
think
Wild.
they just
Wild
took the engine?
Yeah, I think it's the same engine.
Yeah, it looks. I'm glad they did that and not because the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition or the one that they released, on Switch and Wii U. Some of the stuff just seems a little off. Like
Yeah, it looks kind of bootleg.
yeah, it's Zelda. You can tell it's Zelda characters, but then there's also like stuff that's just it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same.
Right.
So I'm glad they went with the Breath of the Wild engine. All the enemies look like they do in Breath of the Wild. All the characters look like they do in Breath of the Wild.
They're just like the thing that to talk about the previous game is that they're mashing up so many different art styles though. So it's like kind of hard.
And,
like, which one do you choose?
And bringing them into the HD era. I mean, some of those games like Ocarina of Time, we have the 3D, but we never really got an HD version.
Yeah, that was like the first like new HD Zelda-ish game, because we had already had like Wind Waker, but that was like a remaster.
So it's like, yeah, like when they do Tingle, like there's so many different versions of Tingle, like which one do you choose?
Yeah.
And so many different versions of Impa, which one do you choose? Like, so I don't know, it was a weird balancing act. And I personally am just like, okay, that's what they chose, and it's kind of like sort of like generic-y, but I'm fine with it because I get to play as like Wind Waker Link and Young Link and like all these different things.
They also had like original characters. They had Lana. She's like
and Sia
and Linkle. That was the first time Linkle came in.
Yeah, Linkle is dope and probably the best thing to come out of that game.
Yeah.
And Volga, the Dragon Knight, which is basically just Volvagia that they turned into a human.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they gave Ganon huge anime hair. Like
Dude, it's awesome.
They definitely took some artistic license on Ganon in that game.
But it's cool though because you can unlock, and I'm hoping that's the same in the sequel. You can unlock like different skins and suits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I recently found the Wind Waker like samurai garb for Ganon.
I think Breath of the Wild had different like armor sets and stuff like that, so I feel like they'll have different outfits and stuff.
I think what they're gonna do is they'll have the main story. They'll have the main prequel, and then they'll probably
have adventure mode.
They'll have adventure mode again, and that's where you can just play as whoever you want in any mission. Because like I don't want to just play one mission as Mipha and then just be done. Like I would like to use her in other aspects of the game. And usually the Warrior games, they're so like decked out. There's so much content in them.
Dude, it's so much content. It's an unreasonable amount of content. Yeah. It's like, thanks, but I don't know if I can. I don't think I can beat this much content and like still be happy with like the level of sophistication that goes into the combat. It's like it kind of maxes out at like, okay, I get it. There's like 11 combos, but like I've done them already 100 hours worth of time. B X. B. Or is that X? No, it's Y, I guess. But anyways, it's crazy. So I agree. I just want to jump off before we move on to the next question because we're kind of like doing both at the same time. But like, I totally agree with Camilo 100% that the spin-off is the right way to do it because it's a gosh darn war.
Yeah.
And like, that is not typically what Zelda games are about. And this game is literally about fighting off like hordes and hordes of enemies attacking and subsequently taking over Hyrule Castle. So like that story fits very well into this style of game. So I'm for it. I'm not at all, how they say, butthurt that it's not a real Zelda game.
I haven't read the comments. I haven't.
I think people are jazzed.
I've heard some people say like, "Oh, I wanted Breath of the Wild too." Okay.
But, we're most likely getting that next year. I think that's going to be the next year title because it's Zelda's 35th anniversary. It'd be the perfect time to release. And this is it's a nice little, like, I wasn't expecting this. I thought Nintendo was done this year. I thought they had Mario and that's it.
I was reading something that was like, this is the one game, or no, I think it was I was watching an Arlo video. I love to bring up Arlo in the podcast. We do it like every week. But he was just like, this is the one game that like wasn't leaked. Like, isn't that kind of nice?
Yeah, it was
to like be told about some news where it wasn't leaked. And I'm like, yeah, that is actually kind of nice. It was for once.
So I think people are excited in general. I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of tweets about people being excited. Then I also saw some stories that Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition on Amazon, one of the sites, the sales went up like 2,000% or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
But that could mean like they sold 2,000 units because
because it wasn't selling.
there's probably not that
for
many
3
people
years.
buying it right now.
I already had mine.
Yeah, no,
I had both copies of it. Dude, that definitive edition is such a good deal because the amount of DLC they added onto that game was more than your average season pass. It was like a $50 worth of stuff to buy.
Yeah.
That's how much stuff they jammed into that game. It was like a $100 game.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways. $60 I think is still a sick deal because Nintendo games don't go down in price. But I think $60 is still a good deal for the game you get.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this game, and I like Warriors Styles game. I have the Dragon Quest ones, and I have...
There's Dragon Quest ones?
Yeah. Dragon Quest Heroes.
Oh.
1 and 2 for the PS4.
Oh, I
There
thought
you
that
go.
was just a different... Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. You can get the demo, I think, on PS4 if you want to try it out.
I don't know. I don't want to burn myself out of Heroes or Warriors games because... I mean, they're repetitive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're mashing the same button over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then sometimes you get a special attack where you hit that button, but then it's not very in depth combat.
I like it when it gets like harder, like, and you really have to be like, okay, like I need to like work on this thing, like up at this keep, I need to take these 3 keeps, and as soon as I'm done taking these 3 keeps, I have to go over here and start doing something else, or I'm going to lose. Yeah. Like managing, like juggling all of those things. Does get frustrating though when you're like, dude, I did that right. I definitely did that right. Like I just got like some bad RNG or something, and it gets a little frustrating.
The checkpoints are kind of free because I had re-downloaded Hyrule Warriors because I was excited, and
I saw your Insta. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah. I played a mission, and I kept losing the mission, and I'm like, man, this is frustrating. But the checkpoints are pretty lenient. They don't throw you that far back. The missions are long. I think that mission took me like 40 minutes to complete.
Yeah, they can be very long.
I don't know. It could be repetitive. That's the thing that I'm worried about, that I might get bored of this after a mission or two.
I'm not the biggest fan of Warriors games because the story is just kind of like boring and the gameplay is kind of like not exciting. But I will push through to see what the story is.
Dude, throw it on easy mode.
Yeah. You can play on easy mode. That's true.
Just put it on easy mode and just blast through the story.
We know how it ends.
See, I think I'll like. I mean, I like Zelda, but like I'm not. What's the word? Like I'm not like a diehard of like all the fan of like all the games. So like I don't like get as much out of like the fan servicey stuff. Whereas like I really like Breath of the Wild. So like when I saw like all of like the mechanics, like the rune bombs are in there. Like I think I'll enjoy that more.
All right, so I didn't even see that. So they have the rune.
Yeah, Zelda was like doing like a rune bomb as like a special move.
Nice.
It was pretty cool. She had like a Sheikah slate that she was using.
Yeah, I mean Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is just fan service. It's like, you want to play the Skull Kid? Here you go.
I know. That game has serviced me very well. I really enjoy it. I'm still playing it. I was streaming it the other day. I was hyped. I'm still playing it. Offline too. So yeah, I like Warrior Styles games. I bought the Fire Emblem one, and then I ended up selling it because it was before I like really dove into Fire Emblem. I like kept dipping my toe in, but like never like beat a game. And then I eventually was just like, oh, if I play this game, I'm going to get spoilers. So it's like, you almost want to play Breath of the Wild first. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you want to play this one first if you haven't played Breath of the Wild. Yeah. It's prequel.
Yeah, but I wonder how spoilery they're gonna get. Like,
because that Fire Emblem game was super spoilery.
are they
I mean,
Star Wars?
I like to play games in order of release, but sometimes chronological order is fine.
Like the way the Star Wars prequels did it was a terrible way. Like you had to see the original trilogy,
need to watch the other ones first
to get the references to the prequel, and I don't think that's how you should do it. So I'll be interested to see how they do it.
Yeah. Same. But yeah, that's how I feel. I'm excited for this game. I'm kind of like meh on the format because it can be repetitive, but like, you know, if it's a IP that I like, I'm into it. I like that it's not just like, what did they used to just be, what were the games called?
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors.
I actually have one of them. I don't know like what the whole title is, but it was Dynasty Warriors for like Wii U.
There's a lot of them. There's like 12 of them, I think.
We played Dynasty Warriors, like, I think my freshman year in college was the only time I ever played Dynasty Warriors. So, like, in 20 years for you kids who are watching right now. Actually, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but
anyways.
I've never played Dynasty Warriors, but I will buy all the Warrior games that have a Nintendo IP attached to them. Like, I got Fire Emblem Warriors.
Mario Warriors.
I would buy it. Hands down, that would be fun. Fighting thousands of Goombas at the same time.
That'd be cool. I want a rated M Super Mario Warriors game. Where it's just basically Doom. And you just like open up Goombas by like grabbing their mouth and just
fireballs
like,
actually scorch things.
Ripping.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
That'd be pretty insane. But yeah, I'm buying it. That's how I think we should end this. Are we buying it? Everybody buying it?
Buying it, yep.
Day one buy?
Day one. About to pre-order it. Get that pot ladle.
Oh, yeah. Is that just digital or is it physical?
Yeah, it's digital only.
You're not going to have the pot ladle.
Stop doing that. They did that with some other game, too, with Tony Hawk. They were like, hey, yeah, you can pre-order it, but then you get the demo. I'm like, but I want it physical and want the demo.
They're trying to incentivize you.
Yeah, they want more money so they don't have to pay for that physical disc.
That's true. Because then they don't have to pay, Best Buy any money, right? Best Buy doesn't get a cut if you buy straight from the PlayStation Store.
Yep.
At least I don't. I hope they don't, because that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, day one buy for me. I'm actually probably going to pre-order after the taping.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the other stories this week and let us know how you felt about this story down in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you all next time.